What's up, YouTube? I'm back. It's Damien with Clean Mud Videos, and I'm coming at you a little bit different. Today, I'm not doing any demos, not doing any reviews, but I just want to talk to you. And the reason I want to talk to you, I want to let you know that it's okay. It's okay to buy secondhand gear. It's okay to buy used equipment. Go ahead, make the purchase, but know why you're doing it. But before I go on any further, go ahead, smash that subscribe button, also hit that like button, and if in the end of this video you find it helpful, go ahead and share it. Okay, so before we go on with this video, I want to give you a clear objective of what I plan to do in this video. I hope it don't go longer than what I expect, but y'all know how I can be sometimes. All right, so in this video, what I want to do, first of all, I want to cover some pros and cons to buying used equipment. And then secondly, I want to give you some places and some ways to shop for the used equipment as well. Okay, so before we go any further, let me tell you what prompted me to even do a video like this. So as you can see in the background back here, I have my Audient A7Xs. And I would say probably about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe a little bit more, probably back in January or February, I was looking on Facebook Market. I seen somebody had the Audient Sub 10 Mark II, and the price was $400. And I'm like, man, I know this can't be right, because buying it brand new costs $14.99. Depending on where you at, you could possibly pay $1,600 for this sub. So I ended up contacting them to see if everything was legit, if I could take a look at the sub, and he had the sub, so he said what he was some type of collector. Not really a collector, but he goes through and goes to these real estate sales and purchases equipment or purchases just different items, and he tries to sell them. So he told me right off, he said, well, I know what this piece is worth, but I don't want to hold it long. He said, so first $400, you can have it. So I immediately went, got the 400, went to him, and I seen it, and I'm like, wow, I want it. You know, it wasn't perfect, but it was decent. So I was like, you know, $400, I can't beat this. If I got to do something to it, hey, he told me, he said, well, if it doesn't work, he said, just hit me back and I'll give you your money. And I'm like, well, man, hey, that's even better. And so I was hoping he wasn't pulling my leg. So what ended up happening is I got this thing home, and I prayed. I was like, Lord, please let this thing work. Like, you know, because if you get it for $400 in this thing, like I told you, after taxes, roughly about $1,600. I was like, man, if this thing works, it's like, man, I hit the jackpot. So I got it home, plugged it up, lights came on. Yes, I was hyped. But then when I went to try to play music through it, it didn't work. And I'm like, man, I hope I'm just connecting stuff wrong. And I went back and disconnected my old sub and connected this one the same way. And I'm just like, wow, like, it's not working. So I was reluctant. I called him back and I said, hey, look, it's not working. Dude said, well, look, if you want to keep it, go ahead and meet me where we met at first. He said, and I give you $200 back, and you can take this up for $200 and then, you know, do whatever it takes to get it fixed. So I'm like, man, cool. That was a deal. I couldn't beat it, because I'm thinking if I need to buy a subwoofer for it, hey, I'm still getting over like real tough. So I ended up searching around for a subwoofer, and the only one that I could find was roughly about $4.99, I think, brand new from a company. I don't even know the name of the company, but they had the sub that I needed, and I searched, couldn't find anything. And I was gonna buy that, so I said, okay, $200 plus the $500 to buy a new sub, still $700, so I'm saving roughly about $900. I ended up contacting Adam Audio, and I asked them if they could direct me toward the people who do the repairs. They ended up telling me that they sell the sub replacement for this sub for $235. Nope, $259 plus $35 shipping. Hopped on it, had to. So long story short, I'm putting this thing together, and I thought, you know, man, this is a way that I've saved money, like just over the life of my studio, the process, or just the times of my studio. And I just wanted to share with people to let you know it's okay a lot of times to buy used, to buy equipment, to not always have, I guess, the mindset that I need to buy brand new. So I guess in this video, like I said, this is what prompted me to do a video like this, to let you know that it's okay to buy that secondhand equipment. You don't have to buy everything new, and sometimes you'll benefit from buying secondhand equipment over new equipment. And so anyway, with all of that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and put this sub back together with the new sub that I got, and then we're gonna discuss some of the pros of buying used equipment, secondhand equipment, and then we'll also explain the cons. So these are for you to kind of take and just kind of put against each other and say, does buying new outweigh buying used, or does used outweigh buying new? And I'll just tell you my experiences, and then we'll take it from there, and then hopefully it will help you to make a better decision on what you want to do in your studio setup, in your situation. So let's get into it. So over the years, I've had a lot of great experiences with buying used studio equipment. And if you shop right, you can come out on top almost every time. All right, so let's hit the pros. Pro number one, you can get a lot of great equipment at a fraction of the cost. So pro number two, if you are ever interested in selling any of your equipment, then you will be able to get most of, if not all of your money back that you've put into it. Pro number three, if you purchase from the right place that sells used equipment, you can typically get a warranty just like you would if you bought it brand new. And pro number four, most times with the budget that you start in mind, you'll be able to stretch that budget so that you can spend more money on other equipment. And there might be more pros than that. That's just what I thought of, like right offhand. Now let's talk about the other side of it. Let's talk about the cons. So some of the cons from the experience that I've had, number one, is that sometimes you can purchase equipment that is not as described on the site or from the person that you buying your equipment from. Con number two, sometimes you won't get a warranty with buying used gear. And then con number three, which is kind of with every piece of equipment, you will have to inspect it just to make sure it's fully functional and that it is as described. And once again, there may be more cons than that, but that's all I could think of right offhand. So I didn't intend for the pros to outweigh the cons, but I guess in my take from my experience of buying used gear, my pros always outweigh my cons, but it might not be the same case for you. So let's discuss on how to shop for some of this used gear. Okay, so like I said, in shopping for used equipment, you have to know what you're looking for, because if you don't, you might buy a mic from somebody that they tell you, okay, man, everything's working. This is the way the mic is supposed to be. You might find a piece on it that's kind of loose or worn out or whatever the case is. But as long as you know how your piece of equipment is supposed to function, you can properly inspect it when you're buying used equipment. So that in a nutshell, know what you're shopping for. Don't just get a bright idea to go and buy a piece of equipment and then just go buy a piece from somebody and then they have to explain how it works, because they could leave certain things off and you could end up with a piece of junk. And with that being said, one thing you should practice on is buying your used equipment from a reputable source. So some of the places, or I guess a couple of the places that I've purchased from have been reverb.com, and I'll post a link down in the description with these. Reverb.com is pretty good. The people on there are selling equipment as is, but is described. So if it doesn't work, a lot of times it's in the description. Well, every time I've come across the piece or anything, it's been written in the description. They give you a full detail on what's working, what's not working, what the condition looks like, all of those types of things. So you can buy with a little more confidence, and they also have the reviews, the ratings from each of the sellers. And I'm not sure, but I think they may offer some type of a protection plan. And another place is Guitar Center. Guitar Center, I feel like, is an excellent place to be able to buy used gear, because Guitar Center will give you, I think it's maybe 45 days after purchase, to be able to return any of the equipment that is probably not fitting your needs or is not fully functional as described. Also, I remember when I first was getting into external preamps, I ended up buying a Grace Design M101. I think that was the kind of like the rack mount. And thankfully I did purchase it's kind of like a warranty thing. I forget what it's called, but I think it's the Pro Coverage Plan. So I ended up buying that, and I think maybe 6 months into a year or something like that, I think the preamp ended up going out on me. So first they referred me to, I guess, some type of technician type of guy here in Louisville, and they couldn't fix it. They didn't have the parts to fix it either. So what Guitar Center did was refunded, not the price that I purchased the Grace Design for, but they gave me the price of a brand new Grace Design. And that's when I went and bought, I think it was like a Focusrite ISA1 at the time. So I used that money to buy that Focusrite ISA1. So in saying that, like I said, just buying used gear, you don't want to just blindly jump out here and just grab things, but make sure you're doing it with a plan and make sure that you are covering yourself. So probably, spend the extra money and buy the protection plan if you're not trusting if it's worth it. Sometimes the protection plan may cost you, or the gear that you're purchasing may not be enough, or may not cost as much where it costs for you to have to pay for a protection plan. But just know what you're looking for in that. And then also other sites like eBay, it can be good. I've had my dealings with eBay where, sometimes somebody hasn't explained or put the full details, and they try to sell you a messed up piece of equipment. Or a lot of times in eBay, accounts get hacked, and I've had situations buying and selling with eBay, which doesn't really make me too happy to buy something from eBay unless it's kind of lower priced. But yeah, so I've had dealings with them. But a lot of times, if you are buying used from a website, check the reviews. But like I said, again, for like eBay, that doesn't work every time, because sometimes I've purchased things from people's account that, the account might have gotten hacked, and there's no way to really tell until eBay contacts you back. But they are good with getting your money back, because a lot of times you go and make your purchases through like PayPal or whatnot, and PayPal is good with refunding your money back. So if it's not as described, then you could put in to get a refund back. So that's some of the hassle of going through a place like eBay, because you just kind of, in a sense, you don't get stuck with the gear, but it's just a little bit more of a hassle than going through like Reverb.com or Guitar Center. I think Guitar Center, they like no questions asked, we'll take it back. So, but yeah, those are some places that you could possibly go to purchase your used equipment. Or Facebook Market. Facebook Market is pretty good, but then again, on Facebook Market, you have to know, well, first you have to look at the reviews and make sure that the people are, kind of reputable, I guess, and that they do have their ratings up, and just know the pieces of gear that you're looking for, so that, people ain't just selling you anything for real. With all of that being said, I think that is my, suggestion for, or my opinion or my whatever it is for you getting out and possibly buying gear secondhand. There's ways to buy, safe ways to be able to buy it. But yeah, you can save a whole bunch of money like I just did. Like I said, this subwoofer that I have restored or about to restore after I finish this video or while I'm doing this video, this thing, like I said, after taxes, I know it's gonna be over $1,600, and I walked away paying roughly, what, $500, you know, and a little bit extra. I paid roughly $500, so I saved myself roughly $1,000, $1,100 to $1,200 basically. But if you are interested in purchasing new, you know, all the time I'm always posting links down in the description to purchase them from Amazon. If you buying stuff new, go ahead and purchase it from the link. Help me out on this channel, because when you purchase from the link, then as me being an Amazon affiliate, I do get a little bit of the money. It's not costing you anything, but Amazon is basically patting us on the back and saying, hey, thank you for sending these people our way, and here's a little something for you. And it helps me to be able to get other gear. It helps me to be able to maximize the channel. It helps me to be able to just do more to help and bring information and knowledge and all of that type of stuff to the channel. So yeah, I guess with that being said, let's take a look at some of the gear that I've purchased secondhand. So like I'm telling you, I'm not just telling you these things from just what I think could help you. I'm telling you from things that I know personally have helped me. I'm out here doing it myself. So yeah, let's take a look at some of this gear. Okay, so first off, like I've already described, I have the Atom Sub 10 Mark II, and this thing new is normally $14.99 before taxes. I got it for $500 total after replacing the subwoofer. Okay, and as you know, the Avalon VT737 that I used to have, yep, I did sell it, but when I purchased that piece of equipment, brand new, it runs for roughly about $3,000, and I got it from Guitar Center for $13.99. That was before taxes, so after taxes, I think it probably hit roughly around, I guess, about $100 tax, something like that. I forget how much it was, but you know, $13.99 plus tax, and then 4 or 5 years later, I ended up selling it to a friend of mine to give him a good deal. Like I got a good deal on it, so I sold it to him for $1,500. So with that being said, got every dime that I put into it, and I know the value of it went up, but I just wanted to give a friend a good deal. So, and then also my Neumann U87 AI, roughly brand new. This thing runs for roughly about $3,000. But I bought it from reverb.com for $1,800. Of course, it didn't have the shock mount with it, didn't even come with the box. I got it for $1,800, so knocked a nice piece of thing out, nice piece of change off of it, and you know the mic is basically like mid-condition. Yep, and moving on, the Audient ID22. This thing, I guess roughly, now looking up the price, I think it jumped to about $600. I don't think it was that much when I purchased mine from Guitar Center. I bought it from Guitar Center for $175. And I didn't get the protection plan. I didn't get any of that with it. I just trusted that everything was smooth and it was straight. I don't even think you can buy the ID14 for $175. So I bought it cheaper than what you would even buy ID14 for. Then moving on to something else, my Genelec 8010A. Now these brand new are $350 each. I ended up purchasing them off of Facebook Market from somebody for $400 for the set. Then another item that I got on Facebook Market, the Clark Technic KT2A. Brand new. This item runs for roughly about $450, but I bought it on Facebook Market for less than half of that. I paid $200 for the Clark Technic. As you know, I've also just recently got into the 500 series mic preamps. So the ones I have, which preamps do I have? I have one from Black Lion Audio. Okay, it's the B12A Mark II. I have the Grace Design M501, and then I have the Neve 1073 LB. But I got a discount. I bought basically everything except the RNC secondhand. But as you know or may not know, the 500 units, they normally hold their value super well. So I was able to get deals on those by getting anything off of them. Even going further, like what I'm shooting on right now is the Canon M50. And here's my B camera. And I ended up buying these on, I think it's like a refurbished site from Canon, Canon's refurb site. And I think I ended up paying for both of these cameras roughly $500, something like that, $500–600, I think. And I think these cameras are roughly about $400 by themselves, but I think they give you like a year warranty and all of that. What else? It's just so much. Microphone collections. Don't be afraid to, another place is Alto Music. Don't be afraid to get those second hands, the repackaging, because if they take a used item and repackage it, they'll sell it to you basically it's brand new. So even like a lot of y'all know, one of my favorite microphones is the AKG C414xlii. I believe I purchased mine for, I want to say about $700 as a repackage, I think. But I think the microphone was roughly about $1,000, brand new. But basically when they sent it to me, everything was packaged like it was brand new, and I couldn't tell the difference. Even the Neumann, the Neumann 103 that I had, ended up purchasing that in the same type of deal. And they ended up actually saying that they ran out of the used ones. So they asked me if it was okay to send me a brand new one for the same price. Is it okay? Yeah, it's definitely okay. So that's what happened with that. But it's just so much used gear, so much stuff. A couple of my microphones, I think I bought the Bluebird. I think I ended up paying $110 for that. Just so much stuff that, you know, you can maximize on. So don't be afraid to buy secondhand. If you got any questions, hit me up down below and I'll try to help you. I try to post these links of the things that, or the places that I've shopped from. But yeah, definitely, it can help you maximize your studio. So just know what you're looking for before you actually go and shop. But yeah, I know this video went way longer than what I expected, but all in all, that's pretty much what I have to say. And yeah, so don't be afraid to buy used, but if you do buy brand new, buy from me. Go on Amazon and them links that I'll be posting in them videos, and purchase some equipment. Help the channel out. And also give me some suggestions. If this video was helpful, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe, and then also share this video. And then coming up in the future, I do want to, I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I do want to give away some equipment. And I think more in the terms of a couple of microphones. So stay tuned, subscribe, follow, understand. You can hit me on Instagram, because I don't know if I'll do the giveaway thing through Instagram or whatnot, but hit me on, you know, Instagram. I always try to put the link somewhere. Clean Mud Videos, at Clean Mud Videos, I guess. Yeah, so until the next video, like I said, hit that subscribe, like, and I'm out.